False Assumption, a horror story by Darhyl John B. Cacananta. The plan one crisp autumn afternoon, as the golden leaves crunched beneath our feet, I gathered my group of friends in the school courtyard. With a spark of excitement in my voice, I exclaimed, "Hey friends, semester break is just around the corner. Where should we go for a vacation?" Marita, always the one with a sense of adventure, looked up from her book with a twinkle in her eye. "Why don't we head out to the countryside?" she suggested, her voice carrying a sense of longing for wide-open spaces and fresh air. The idea immediately caught the attention of Louisa, whose face lit up with excitement. "Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic idea," she said, her enthusiasm contagious. "It'll be great to get away and not have any restrictions from our parents for a change. Staying cooped up at home is just so boring, waiting for the sun to set every day." The prospect of freedom and adventure filled the air, and we all knew at that moment that the countryside beckoned us with its promise of endless possibilities. That's all it took for my friends, Aritha, Angel, Elea, and a few others to start planning. Everyone was thrilled, except maybe Elia and I, who felt a strange sense of dread, but brushed it off as nothing more than nerves. Excitement clouded our apprehension, and before we knew it, plans were finalized. Only Aritha, Elea, and I ended up going, as the others were held back by their parents' refusals. The journey on October 4th, we set out for Marita's grandmother's place, deep in the province. The journey was long, far longer than any of us had anticipated. There was something peculiar about the reluctance of the drivers to take us directly to our destination. Despite offering substantial payment, they seemed uneasy, as if the place held secrets better left undiscovered. This strangeness was unsettling, but curiosity and determination propelled us forward. Finally, the driver agreed to drop us off as close as he dared, delivering a chilling farewell. "Be careful, and I hope you return alive." It was a cryptic statement that planted seeds of fear in our hearts. Huddled together, we pressed on, walking for another 3 hours until we arrived at a lively town gearing up for a festival. The people there greeted us with smiles, but their gaze lingered on us, scrutinizing evaluation that gnawed at our comfort. Marita led us to an old house with a thatched roof. It was well prepared for our arrival, complete with beds and a sense of foreboding. A pale, ancient woman with unnaturally long hair stood in a corner, her lifeless eyes watching our every movement. Every fiber of my being screamed at me to turn back, but it was too late to retreat.
Growing unease. As days went by, the uneasiness only grew. The townsfolk's polite but strange demeanor kept us on edge. Aritha and I began feeling like prey, watched by unseen predators. One afternoon, Marita left us in the cottage, saying she had to attend to some preparations, but would be back soon. We watched from the window as she descended, greeted by people who stared at us with an intensity that could bore holes through our souls. The moment Marita muttered something to the crowd and left, their gaze softened, but the menace never fully dissipated. That night, I was jolted awake by hushed voices outside our door. Through the crack, I overheard the chilling words that confirmed our greatest fears. "Tomorrow night, it all happens. They'll be given a drink that'll make them sleep, then cooked in the cauldron. Make sure you drink from the middle glass to stay awake." Heart racing, I knew Elea and I were to be the main course for the festival. Sweating profusely, I silently swore we wouldn't meet that fate. I had to find a way to tell Elea without arousing suspicion. All day, I looked for a window of opportunity, but Marita's watchful eyes made it nearly impossible. Our final chance came when night fell. Feigning a headache, I sent Marita to fetch medicine, allowing me to share our grim situation with Elia. The escape, she was paralyzed with disbelief and terror. In a desperate bid for survival, we concocted a plan. When Marita returned, we seized the moment and rendered her unconscious, placing her in our bed to be the sacrificial lamb for her monstrous kin. We attempted our escape, thinking it would be easy. How wrong we were. The villagers, once human in appearance, shifted into wolf-like creatures, hungry for human flesh and blood. Their need was primal, to feed on mortal flesh once a year to maintain their monstrous forms. Failure to do so would mean their demise. Aritha and I sprinted through the night, their furious growls and snapping jaws close behind. At one point, Aritha tripped, and a creature lunged at her, ready to devour. In a last desperate swing of luck, the creature wavered as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon. Bathed in sunlight, the monsters retreated, prowling back into the shadows they emerged from. The aftermath, fear-stricken and exhausted, we managed to get back to Manila alive. The experience seared into our memories, a chilling reminder of how close we came to a gruesome death. From then on, we promised ourselves that we'd spend every break within the safety of our homes. We never spoke of it again, but every time someone mentioned vacation, I could see the same haunted look in Alea's eyes. It was a tale of deception and survival, one that we'd carry with us forever.